rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Good evening. Woo! We got some breaking news, y'all. I tried to get in here as quickly as I could. Like I told you, I had some things to do. And I had it scheduled for a later time. But good evening. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Hope you guys are finding this good show in good spirits, because another day above the dirt is always a blessing. Let's not forget that. We got some breaking news. We got some things to get into. Okay. So we're going to make this intro very, very short and sweet because we got things to get into. All right. So do me a favor. As we get into it, you see the title. I've changed the title on some of the channels and some I have not. Like I try to get in here, try to get this whole thing going and get this thing going as quickly as I could. All right. So you see the title wherever you're watching this show. We're going to talk about it all. Trust me, trust and believe. Hit that like button down below, please and thank you. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on other platforms. If you are watching on those other platforms like Facebook, X, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, please make sure. Kick, Twitch as well. Make sure you hit that follow button. Follow. Please and thank you. Follow. All right. Hit that subscribe button here as well. If you're watching on my YouTube channel, please and thank you. Go to my second channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Subscribe over there. Check it out, okay? Like I said, I try to get back here as quickly as I could, okay? Man, but, you know, it's life. It is what it is, okay? So make sure you're subscribed here. Make sure you have the notification bell set to all on both channels so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload, because we got some things to talk about, and there's a lot of things to be talked about here very, very soon, beyond just the Diddy trial. But we got some new updates, and it's a shocker. I will be honest. I am shook about this one. Okay, so subscribe. Hit that join button down below. Become a member. Check out my Patreon. Check out my locals. And of course, check out PascalMerch.com. Okay, guys. Yeah, I mean, literally, I'm in the middle eating food at the same doggone time. Like, you know, like I said, today's been a busy one. I'm trying to eat. I barely eat when we do live. So when we've been doing these long shows. So as soon as I get done with the show, after 6-7 hours, I am starving, right? So I was trying to get some food in me a little bit before we get live. I mean, just to keep it a bean. All right. It's been a busy day, but we have got to get into all of this. Now, the thing is that I know that a lot of people are wanting to know what's going on. And in fact, I want to know too, right? I just read through, you know, what was going on. Shout out to Inner City Press. I just got to say, stellar job. Stellar mother-loving job, man. He's been doing a fantastic job, and that man should get his freaking flowers. Real talk, he should, okay? Because he's been putting his whole ass into this mug, okay? And then some, okay? But nonetheless, we got to talk about a few things. Now, we talked earlier about how Deontay Nash wrote a letter, because obviously for all y'all who are just getting in here trying to figure out, hey, Pascal, what's going on? What happened? Bail denied. What? Yeah, we're going to talk about that all and more, but we got to talk about the breadcrumbs leading up to this decision that just happened. Oh, yeah, I forgot to say. Yeah, Diddy's bail has been denied. By the way, again. So he's locked up till about October, right? He kind of locked up for a while. Bail, mother-loving denied. Sorry, not sorry. So he's going to go get locked up. I know a lot of the, you know, free Diddy mother lovers out here are going to sit here and go, yeah, he go walk. You know what I'm saying? That mother lover go walk, man. No, he's not. He's been locked up for the umpteenth time of him requesting bail. He's been denied again. And now he gonna see 4th of July locked up. It just is what it is, y'all. It just is what it is. Okay? It's fine. Don't be mad at me. Be upset with the judge. This could also be a foreshadowing of what could be coming in October, but we're going to talk about that in a second, which, by the way, I'm really surprised that they are actually doing the sentencing several months from now. I thought it was going to be like, let's nip it in the bud. Let's get straight to it. Let's just get him in, get it out over with so he can just, so he can spend his time, finish up his sentencing, his time in prison, so he can kick rocks and live his life, right? And he could diddy bop his way back into another freak off on the low, though. Okay, on the low, because for a fact everything he does now is going to be super discreet. And by the way, he should know and learn by now that it does not matter. Okay, it does not matter if he makes somebody sign an NDA. If a crime is happening, the NDA is null and void. Okay? Just so you know. So, like I said, even if he's like, I got a hankering for hogs, man. I got a hankering for hogs, Meek Mill. I can't handle it anymore. I need some hogs. He can't really do that anymore, thinking that he can hide behind an NDA. Now everybody knows who he is and what kind of person he is. It has been exposed. Like I said, his whole ass has been exposed. Okay? It's a wrap. So anytime he has a hankering for a hog, or plural, he's going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. He's going to have to swipe left, or is it swipe right? I have no idea. Or, he's going to have to use Grindr, You know what I'm saying? Salami Sam is on the east side of Central Park. Want to meet up? That kind of thing. It's got to be 110% consensual, and he has to do it. Those people have to be willing to go in there and perform for him on the free 9s and 9 now. See what I'm saying? He has to do it the old-fashioned way. He has to go out there. He got to go out fishing. He got to take that bait and just sit there and just every once in a while, just let the fish know he's there. He can't go up and just be like, yeah, I need Chef, I need Sly and Paul to come over and do the Alabama Slammer. He can't do that anymore. $1,000 each. He can't do that anymore. Now he has to go out into the world. He has to venture out into the world like every other person who's out here trying to get laid. You know what I mean? You're going to have to just take his shot and get denied. Like this bail. It is what it is, though, right? It is what it is. So hear this. Little bit of a timeline. I know I was about to give you the timeline, and then I ADHD, firing at all pistons, on all pistons. Sorry. But just so you know, obviously he was found guilty on 2 counts, 2 of the lesser charges. Now everybody's like, oh yeah, big win for Diddy, which, you know what? It is a big win. I'm not going to sit there and say that it's not a big win. Hell yeah, it's a big win. But he's still going to be locked up for a couple more years. So it's not like he's just done. He's not going to walk out here free. As you can see, his bail has been denied. Guess where he's going? He's like, yeah, okay, going back in the cell. That's all he's doing. Okay? He's doing that Tiger Woods fist pump, yeah? But he's doing it as he's walking right back in the mother-loving cell. Okay? I'm just saying. Okay? Sure, it's a big win, but he's celebrating in a cell. And he's going to be there for a while. Okay? Maximum of 20 years, by the way. Maximum. So it depends on if the judge is going to be easy on him or if he's going to be lenient. But we'll find out about that now, will we? Right. So let's go back. He's found not guilty on 2 counts of prostitution. Okay? Moving of prostitution. By the way, which doesn't make any sense. Transporting of prostitutes, right? He gets found guilty of that. But he's not found guilty of trafficking. Make that make sense. That seems a little bit weird, right? But it is what it is. I'm just going to let that be. Okay? Now, with that being said, he gets found guilty on 2 counts. The other 3, he flies by, right? Everybody's happy. He claps to the floor, saying, "Thank you, baby Jesus." Actually, it's more like, "Thank you, baby." What's your first name? It's Jesus. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Yes. Been talking to you this entire time, right? Not Lucifer. But moving on, he's very thankful, and he's to the jury, right? They leave. Mark Agnifilo says, which he has every grounds to do so, he's doing his job as one of Diddy's dream team, okay? He says, "I want my client to get accepted for bond. He needs to get out. We are asking for bail." So, of course, the judge, being fair and being dope, okay, he says, "You know what? Go ahead. Both sides, write up a letter, send it my way, and I'll make a decision after you do that." So for several hours, we sit lying in wait, waiting for them to come up with stuff. The defense comes back with a 6-page paper, 6-page letter, which basically reads in part, "Trust me, Diddy's not going to go out here running out here acting a fool, doing any kind of crimes, causing any issues or harassing other people, witnesses that have testified, so on and so forth. In fact, he is not a flight risk. Please, please, oh, please give him this bail so he can go back home and be with his family in the meantime, in between time, before he finds out how much time he's going to be spending in the slammer," right? So did we get that? Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, which is why I get why the prosecution took so long to submit their paperwork, they get 2 different letters. One is from Deontay Nash. And Deontay Nash, in his letters, basically saying, "Hey, please do not let this man out. He has been volatile. He's a dangerous person. There's a lot of witnesses that just came up and testified that are absolutely scared for their lives about the possibility of him getting out. He could retaliate. He could do some really, really bad things, make it look like it's somebody else who did it. Please don't let him out," right? We read that one. Then something else happened. Cassie even wrote a mother-loving letter. Yeah. As much as she found out what was going on, prosecutions reached out to her and said, "Hey, sweetheart, we need you to write, okay? We need you to write a letter speaking on behalf of keeping him in the slammer. Please, we got to take a look at this, okay?" And again, I'm not surprised that they're going to pull out the whole team, okay? Especially the ones who came in swanging like Cassie, Deontay Nash as well, because Deontay Nash has nothing. His testimony was it was solid in my personal opinion, right? He came through and he said what he said. His testimony was not very controversial. It was just filled with pizzazz, okay? Like that. Glitter everywhere. Other than that, he just talked about what he witnessed and what he experienced. And he believes, and he was attacked by Diddy on several occasions as well, which is messed up as well. So I get him writing the letter, but this one right here, Cassie writing a letter, who was the star witness of this whole thing, says a lot. Let's get into this article. So, Judge, Diddy's a danger. By the way, remember when Gina said that he wasn't a danger? That was funny, right? Remember that? Remember when she said that? It's because she was paid. Hey, it was because she was paid. Remember that yesterday? That actually happened. Yeah. She said, he's not a danger. I'm not scared. He's not a danger. Yeah, she got them ducats. Remember? Walking out of a Whole Foods in a mother-loving parking lot of a Whole Foods in the middle of a hot Las Vegas day, out there trying to get grass-fed frog legs out of the Whole Foods. TMZ just happens to show up in Vegas. Yeah, you can miss it with the nonsense. That was funny, right? Remember that? We have fun here. So Cassie worried about what Diddy might do to her if the judge lets him out on bail prior to his sentencing. And she's asking the judge to make sure she never finds that out. So Cassie submitted a letter to the court Wednesday requesting the judge not allow Diddy to head back into the world before he's sentenced for his conviction on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. Okay? Cassie and her attorney, okay, say Diddy is, quote unquote, likely to pose a danger to the victims who testified in this case, including Cassie herself. Prosecutors are obviously trying to keep Diddy in prison, arguing the Mann Act is a crime of violence and therefore he shouldn't be allowed out. Another witness in the case, Deontay Nash, which we already talked about, he submitted a letter pleading with the judge to do the same, keep him inside. On the other side, Diddy's attorney submitted another comprehensive bond proposal, pitching the idea of, well, how about this? We got an idea, elevator pitch. How about this? We're going to give you, how about $1 million bond, okay? It's going to be fantastic. You're going to love it. Right, Judge? That's basically what they said, all right? He's not going to do anything. He'll be a good man. And here's the thing. He could still be a good man. He literally could have, okay? He literally could have abided by the rules, listen to the court instructions, and do exactly what he needs to do. That was still a possibility. People can change, I guess, okay? But if you really think about it, all the things that have happened leading up to this trial, even when he got locked up, he was still cutting corners. He was still doing things, reaching out to witnesses that he wasn't supposed to be reaching out to. He still was doing all kinds of things, snarky, slimy things that he shouldn't have been doing when he was even locked up. Okay? That's facts. They have proof. Feds had wrote out indictments like a mug. Okay? Documents upon documents proving that he was out here calling up third parties and asking them to reach out to other people that he shouldn't even be in conversation with. It's bad. Okay? So again, I can see all that too. But at the same time, maybe because he was found guilty on these 2 counts, I still leave room that maybe he would have been a good boy, damn near Boy Scout when it comes to the rules. I still say that. There's still room. There's still a possibility of him being a good old boy and not doing anything. But unfortunately, we're not going to find that out anymore because his bail has been denied. Okay? So he co-signed that letter basically saying, hey, $1 million bond, okay? That's the deal. Let's make this work out, right? He co-signed it. His mama signed it. His sister signed it. And the mother of his eldest daughter signed it. And he says Diddy will restrict his travel to just New York, Miami, and LA. Here's the thing, though. Where did all of these freak-offs and all this prostitution happen? Where did it all happen? Those 3 main spots, guys. So once you see something like that, it's not like he's saying, no, he's just going to Cleveland, Ohio, Sparta, Illinois, and a little town called Coco Melon in Nevada. No, he's going to the same spots where he would usually have the freak-offs at. Now, I get it. Don't get me wrong. I get it that those are places where he does a lot of business and he has homes there. But at the same time, I could see the judge looking at that going, oh, no, no, no. Why would I let him travel? Why would I let him fly back and forth? If he's a flight risk and he's got private jets and stuff, he can literally jump in a plane and fly off. And next thing you know, he's doing mother-loving sun salutations with freaking Russell Simmons. Just think about it for a second, okay? Because some people don't want to see prison at all. They don't want to spend not one moment in prison. So who's to say he wouldn't sit there and go, man, even if I'm getting one more year in that prison, I'm not going back. F that. If he's got the resources and the means and the planes to do so, I can see him hopping on and flying out there. Real talk, think about it. But then, like I said, still room for him to be a good old boy. But it's been denied. So we don't even need to entertain the possibilities, right? So as you know, Diddy was convicted on the 2-Mann Act charges today, but was acquitted of racketeering and STing charges. One of the STing charges was in relation to his interaction with Cassie. Cassie testified over multiple days back in Miami, back in May. Okay, while far along, man, what the hell is going on? Come on, hold on, guys. Sorry, I am still here. Just my computer is tripping balls. Hold on. I'm still here. Just fixing this. I'm here, guys. Sorry. I hit the wrong button and then I hit the wrong button, y'all, and then all of a sudden the whole computer shut down. So my bad. Lo siento. I got to get all this stuff again, which is really annoying, but it is what it is. Okay. But here it is. I'm back. Hi. I don't know. The computer's been acting a fool lately. I think it's been because of these long, very, very long shows. So it's just been feeling some type of way. Okay. But nonetheless, okay, we're still in this conversation about what's going on here. Of course, he's been denied. He has been denied bail, which we know about. Okay. But one of the reasons why he's been denied bail is solely because of Cassie. Cassie was one of the main factors of this thing, which is a big deal. Okay. She came up, she said, hey, I really would like you to be really considerate on the decision whether or not you are going to grant this man bail because of how volatile and how dangerous and how terrible the person has been to me. And we already know countless times how bad this guy really is. Let's keep it real. He is a he's been a very bad guy to Cassie. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get all the windows back up and running. So we're just gonna run. We're gonna do this live. Okay. But nonetheless, she turned to the judge and said, please really consider, okay? Really consider whether or not to grant this guy bail. Please don't give him bail at all. He is a very dangerous, volatile person. And we've seen this, okay? We've seen this. The video that we were just down here with, that video right here alone stands alone by itself. That shows that this guy, yeah, he dangerous. Okay? That's without question. There's no bias here. Okay? That's fact. This is a dangerous man. We've seen the video. We've seen what he does. And we've heard and seen accounts from friends, and we've seen footage of other bruises and cuts that she endured by the hands of this man. This guy is dangerous for sure. Okay. For sure. But like I said, she testified over multiple days in May while far along in her pregnancy and said Diddy made an S worker go number one in her mouth. She also said that she suffered from numerous UTIs because of the freak-offs that she engaged in with Diddy. I mean, and he put her through these things. Doesn't matter if she was ST'd or not, okay? If it was not considered ST, she definitely was put through the ringer, y'all. Put through the mother-loving ringer. And you know what? Even Jane Doe. Yes, we can even talk about Jane Doe. Doesn't matter if she seemed more like a willing participant than Cassie than ever before. I just think Diddy found a crazy that liked his crazy, and they were a match made in heaven, him and Jane Doe. Real talk. I think she was somebody who was a glutton for punishment. She liked it to a certain extent, but I do think that there were moments that she didn't want to do it, for sure. But she kept doing it, right? That's one thing for sure. She kept coming back, right? For sure. She was still doing it until until he got arrested, basically, right? So again, very, very interesting stuff. Okay. Very, very interesting stuff. Of course, the brutal video of Cassie. Okay. The infamous LA hotel. Okay. Also captivated the jury for part of the trial, though it's unclear they ultimately didn't feel the government proved that he ST'd her, which I think is very interesting. I think with Cassie, for show, I think they missed the mark on the STing charge for Cassie. The STing charge for Jane Doe, I was like, maybe. But definitely with Cassie, for sure. There's countless stories where she's been moved around, where she didn't want to do those things, and she ended up doing those things. So again, that's just another conversation in itself. Nonetheless, they made their choice. They made their verdict. This man is looking at 2 counts of transportation to engage in pro. That is it. And then his team asked for him to get bail once again for the umpteenth millionth time. And then guess what happened? Guess what happened? Which we're going to get to in a second. I had everything queued up, and it's frustrating when you have things queued up and then something like that happens. It's all good. It is what it is. We're gonna keep it moving. Okay, we're gonna do the work. But nonetheless, okay, this is going to be a very interesting reaction from the rest of the world. Okay, about this these decisions that were made. Okay, so let me move back a little bit. let's go over to the inner city press information. Let's just get straight to the transcript. Okay. And again, thank you guys so much for being here, sticking around as well. Because like I said, you could be watching this anywhere else. There's a bunch of other people. Whole world is reacting to this right now. Whole bunch of people are live right now talking about this, happy or sad about this. Okay. Real talk. Nonetheless, you are watching it with me. I do appreciate it. Just one question. Can you please hit that like button down below? Let's just get it straight to 1K real quick. That would really mean the world to me. Thank you so much. And of course, don't forget to subscribe, okay? We talk about a lot of things on this show. Please and thank you. Okay, let's get into this. All right. So we already knew that the defense pulled out a 6-page request, okay? Basically trying to work out a deal for $1 million so that he can get out of jail, spend some time with his family, and then, of course, face the music, pun intended, in October when he gets sentenced, right? Then prosecution sent 2 letters, one from Cassie and one from her friend, one of her besties, Deontay Nash, okay? Both saying, please do not let this guy out. He is dangerous. And in my mind, I'm going, well, how much danger and how much damage could he do if he's going to be sentenced within a few days? In my mind, I'm thinking he's getting sentenced in a few days. But no. He's getting sentenced in October, y'all. So it's going to be a minute. It's really going to be a minute till he actually sees the inside of a courtroom again. So he has plenty of time to do a whole lot of bad if he really wanted to. You know, because in my mind, I'm like, okay, if he's only going to be out for like a week, I'd be busy trying to soak in freedom for a second, because I know I'm not going to be able to see, you know, this, my life, my family, my kids, etc. You know what I mean? Eating my favorite foods, so on and so forth, right? I'm going to want to eat all that up. I'm going to gobble it all up, right? I'm not going to sit there and as soon as I come out, I'm going, so who's on that list? Let's go and get that mother-loving Jane Doe real quick. And what about that Deontay? Yeah, how could he sit there and do that to me, man? Hey, Capricorn, I need you to go and make that guy's car go boom, boom real quick. No, I don't think I would be doing that if I only had a week. I'm busy trying to enjoy and soak up life, right? One last hurrah, probably, before I go back into prison. But now we find out that it's going to be October? Damn, that's a long time. That's a long time to sit around with an anklet around your ankle, thinking about and ruminating about how many people came up and spoke out against you, saying all kinds of stuff. Yeah, all that idle time. Hell yeah. He'll sit there and he's going to have a whole list. Shoot, he'll have a whole list before September. So again, interesting. So let's get into this transcript. So in the courtroom, Diddy's lawyers, Brian Steele, Jason Driscoll, are patting each other on the back. Agnifilo is in the holding cell with Diddy. His family is in the second row of the gallery. And it's convenient that they're all there. But I get it. They're there because they're there for their dad, but they're also hoping that by their presence, it'll make the judge a little bit more lenient on them, right? On daddy, on pop, or pops, or however they call him, right? So, Mr. Agnifilo, Shapiro, and Garagos emerged from the holding cell, still waiting for Diddy to be brought into the courtroom by U.S. Marshals. Diddy has been brought in, sits next to Garagos, Teeny Garagos, the Mark Garagos' daughter, and apparently he's reading. Don't know what he's reading at this time, but okay. Agnifilo walks over to the lectern, then back over to his seat. Prosecutors are in place at the front table, waiting on the judge. So the judge says, he comes up and he says, I've read the party submissions and others. The jury convicted the defendant of counts 3 and 5. For the following reasons, bail is denied. Wow. Bang. Even if the defendant was solely required to show that he is not a danger to the community, he could not meet that burden. Yikes. Prior to the trial, the court denied bail and sees no reason to reverse that now. The defense conceded, and the defendants conceded the defendant's violence. Yeah, they did. During the opening statements and in the closing statements, by the way, they bookended it by saying, yeah, we're not denying that he put, he popped Cassie a couple times. We ain't denying the DV. We ain't denying that he put his hands on people. But that relationship was it's just another example of modern love. Remember that BS? They did say it. They started with, in the opening statements, this is about love. And they closed this. They said, yeah, he's violent, but this is about love. And then the end, they said, yeah, he's violent. We all know that. We're not going to deny that he put his hands on women or other people. But this is about modern love. This is a modern love story. Taylor Swift. Okay? So that's where they screwed up right there. That's on them. So his violence is depicted in the video of Cassie Ventura. The defense admitted this is a terrible moment. DV is the issue, is what she said. It wasn't only that. There was the London hotel incident as well, where she's locked up. Remember? Where they were saying, oh, she was kidnapped, she was held against her will, the London hotel incident, right? There was violence after the searches in this case. Yikes. As to Jane, there was June 2024, after searches of Combs' residences. The evidence, this, I guess, proves a disregard for the law and the propensity for violence. Yeesh. The court takes no position on what it will consider at sentencing, nor what sentence it will impose. So they're basically saying, hey, just because we're denying him bail does not mean this is a foreshadowing of me like going ham on you and just throwing the whole 20 years on you. Rest assured, he's going to look at that separately, right? But here, this moment, the burden is on him, and he cannot carry it. The defense argues the guideline starts at 21 months. The U.S. says 51 months. He's done 10 months so far. So I set sentencing for Friday, October 3rd at 10 a.m. I am willing to expedite that. So, of course, Agnifilo said we would like it expedited. They're like, yeah, we don't want him locked up, holding up in that MDC, in Brooklyn. They're like, no, we don't want that. We want to get this going so that he can just serve his time. So the sooner he serves his time, the sooner he can get out, right? So we will need an expedited pre-sentencing report from probation, but I will be available anytime. So this is a great divide on the sentencing guideline. I see that Ms. Comey, prosecution, has her statute book open. And then she says, okay, the rule required the preparation of a report absent a reasoned waiver. Probation may be able to expedite. So update me by July 8th at noon. All right. And we'll hold a hearing on that afternoon of July 8th. Your Honor has a lot of information from Agnifilo, has a lot of information from presiding over the trial. We want the sentencing as soon as possible. Other Mann Act cases, they're nothing remotely similar to this situation. The cases were reviewed involving defendants making money, millions, or they involved littles. So that's different. Okay, that's different here. That's different here. And those are the facts. from our letter, see United States versus Dylan. Okay, cover blah blah blah. Moving on. Then there was the Emperor's Club case of the former governor of New York. We understand this is moving quickly. The issue for us is if we had more time, we could have shown extraordinary circumstances. So judge says you concede violence in your closing. So in other words, they admitted violence in their closing. And by the way, their opening too. Okay, let's not forget that. Whether that's relevant to sentencing is not for today. But it can be considered on a bail application. So then Agnifilo says, but in June 2024, there was an argument that Combs was defending himself in. The judge says, well, Diddy tried to get into a batterer's program in New York. The jury never heard that. Then he got arrested. All of these months later, here we are. The same drive to meet the head-on. The same drive to meet the head-on, like the self-respecting businessman he is. So then Agnifilo says he's been a model prisoner. There have been no issues. He's got to have the next chapters of his life. When you're charged with racketeering, you have dark talks. When I was reading the Mia message for his birthday, I heard a lot of time. I had a hard time doing it. Let me repeat that again. When I was reading the Mia message for his birthday, I had a hard time doing it. His children are here. They're throwing in the children now. His children are here. His two daughters. They're in the middle of the second row. They no longer have a living mother. Here, the user of pro services has been convicted under the Mann Act. He was acquitted of violence for STing. So Agnifilo says he wants to talk to you. Let me check. Okay. Check. Prosecution? His brazenness is almost unmatched. The suggested is what self-defense is insulting. So what was suggested that it's self-defense is insulting. He slapped her. He slapped her in the shoulder. Interesting. He had substances in NYC, in his NYC hotel. He invited Jane. I wish it wasn't so chicken scratch, but it is what it is. We're going to go to NBC News or, New York Times. I'm sure they have something. We could craft conditions. Would the court be open to us putting together a bail package? This is what Agnifilo is saying. I'm happy to do so. Judge says the bail application is denied. We'll receive, hopefully, a joint proposal on expedited sentencing on Tuesday and a hearing at 2 p.m. So next Tuesday, it looks like they're going to be having another hearing, okay, about the possibility of expediting his sentencing, if I'm getting this correct, okay? So again, this is crazy. The fact that the judge is like, no, he ain't going nowhere. Bail is denied. Sorry, not sorry. Bail is most definitely mother-loving denied. Crazy, right? Crazy news. But let me get to these because, this chicken scratch like crazy. It drives me nuts, okay? It really, really does. But I know that they have like NBC. Let's get into that. And let's see CNN. I'm sure that they got a few things here. So let's take a look. Okay. Don't forget to hit that like button down below, please. And thank you. Okay. Yes. Bail has been denied. Okay. It's been denied. Okay. So let's see here. A RICO is not a FRICO is not a RICO. I mean, they might as well start selling that t-shirt on his website or one of his websites or something at some point. Real talk. Something to think about. Okay. So get down all the way down here. So there's a lot. Okay, so family returns. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure we're all the way back where we're supposed to be. And I really do appreciate all the super chats and all that as well. Okay, Diddy won't be released as he awaits sentencing. So the judge ruled that Combs should remain in custody while he awaits sentencing. So Diddy was convicted on 2 counts of Mann Act violations for transporting male S workers and former girlfriends Jane and Cassie. But he was acquitted of the pair of the ST counts, okay, which we already know. So the judge says Diddy's personal circumstances don't warrant release. So the judge said the prosecution apparently cited the section of the Bail Reform Act that requires that Diddy remain in custody until his sentencing, which has some expectations or exceptions. So his circumstances do not warrant those exceptions. This is what the judge decided. According to the Bail Reform Act, defendants who've been convicted must prove that they do not pose flight risks or a danger to the community to be released in the interim. Prosecutors argued that Diddy did not meet that burden and provided letters on behalf of 2 witnesses who were worried about the danger Diddy might pose upon release. And I don't blame them. I'd be concerned too. You saw how like Aubrey O'Day was like, oh God, you know, she got really nervous, right? Cassie's attorney supplied one of those 2 letters. And then, of course, Deontay Nash. Supporters disappointed, but not angry. So Diddy's supporters outside the courthouse were disappointed, but not immediately angered by judge's ruling that will keep Diddy in custody. Gasps and what? Reactions could be heard from the pro-Combs crowd outside federal court. You want to know what I find really funny, though? Haven't you noticed that a lot of the people suddenly just showed up? All the pro-free Diddy people suddenly just showed up out of nowhere. Where were they in the beginning of the trial? You know what I mean? There's only a few, and some of those people were getting paid $20 an hour to wear a free puff t-shirt. But I'm talking about all the people that are out there, you know, that were out there celebrating, pouring baby oil on themselves and stuff. Where were they in the very beginning? You see what I'm saying? It's interesting. I'm just like, damn, now you show up? Oh, hi. That's where you've been. You've just been hiding in a cave somewhere? You know what I mean? It's interesting. So he has propensity for violence behind closed doors, the judge says. So he has a propensity for violence that often takes place behind closed doors. This is what he said. This is what the judge said in outlining the reasons why he denied him bail. He said Diddy has engaged in a years-long pattern of violence and continues to be unable to follow the law. Yeah, they've said that. We've seen that quite a bit. So he's not wrong with that. He said Cassie's video, okay, of course, they say was without question an act of DV. So the judge also noted that in June of 2024, there was violence against Jane, okay, at a time when Diddy should have known to keep his hands to his mother-loving self and also to keep himself clean and above board. That's absolutely correct. You gotta everybody and their mama looking at you. You already know that he already knows that his homes have been raided and all that stuff. And yet he's still kicking down doors, dragging her back through from the front lawn into the house, sitting on top of her. You know what I mean? Shoving a pill in her mouth and saying, go in there and S that D. He should know better by then. Real talk. He should know better by then, right? He should know better. Okay. So Homeland Security investigators agents raided his home in March of 2024. So that's a couple months he would have been known. Oh, damn. They raided my home. I need to be on my P's and Q's. I need to be a mother-loving saint. Nope. I'm sober. I'm not drinking. I'm not kicking it. I ain't doing no more yayo. I ain't doing no Tusi. I ain't doing nothing. I'm going to be super, super clean. You see what I'm saying? You know, Cinnabay, you got a good point there too. He could get hit by the IRS. That might be next. That really could be next. That's going to be wild. But sentencing scheduled for this fall. So the judge ordered all sides to return to court on October 3rd for sentencing, but noted that the date could be moved up if Diddy's team seeks to expedite it, which they are. Okay, so they're seeking a term of 20 to 21 months, while the government hopes for 51 to 63 months. So Diddy will get credit for time spent detained so far. So the government's trying to get, what, 5-6 years? If I'm doing the math correct? Something like that? A little less than 6 years. 5 years? 5 years or so? A maximum of 5 years? So that's interesting. Yeah, that's months. Months. Angela said a press conference in 5 minutes. Really? A press conference? Okay. I'll look for it. Trust. I'll look for it. Let's get into this. Hold on. Let me find it really quick, just so we have it. I'm sure Law and Crime is doing something with it. Oh, you dirty dirt. Okay. Okay. Well, I have it here. They're waiting. You know, nothing's happened yet. They were waiting. You know what I mean? For them to have statements, they were waiting for the opportunity to possibly have Diddy walk out with him, so that he can have that moment to feel victorious, right? But the bond has been denied, right? Bail has been denied. So real quick, let me just give you a little bit more updates here. So judge facing a great divide on sentencing. So he acknowledged the great divide between prosecutors and defense in their desire for Diddy's sentencing. So he scheduled a remote. Oh, I already said this. My bad. Diddy looks deflated after his release is denied. Yeah, he was really hopeful that he was going to go home and get to be with fam and do his thizzang. But that's not going to happen, baby. It's not. Okay. Diddy's been sitting with his head down and his hands in his lap, appearing deflated after his hopes of going home today were squashed. I think this is a situation where he really needs to just look at the choices he made in his life. And this is an opportunity for him to do right, do well, get himself clean, get his life back in order, and just do right. And when he gets out, which looks like it'll be a short amount of time, like I said, it'll be a short amount of time, but it'll still be time spent locked up that maybe he'll be able to, get out and do the right thing. Lead with actual love, not just the love that he has brewing in his brain. You see what I'm saying? Whatever he thinks is a semblance of love, he needs to wake the F up. He's on a whole other planet. Okay. Hold on real quick. So they haven't started it yet. Anyway, Diddy is no pimp. He is not a danger to the community, the defense says. So Mann Act violators tend to be pimps making money off of S workers, but that's not the situation with Diddy. Okay. He wasn't making money, but he was definitely getting pleasure out of it. So Agnifilo insisted Diddy is nothing like the typical person convicted under the Mann Act, but he also treated these women like a pimp. He still was backhanding them and doing all kinds of stuff. So what are you talking about? You know what I mean? Instead of him saying, "Where's my money, B?" He's like, "You better S that D." Sure. It's kind of the same. But anyway, he's not like a typical person convicted for the Mann Act because his bad acts don't involve his controlling pros, but yet he was controlling these women. Yeah. So he says this is not the case here, but it is. It really is. DV is violence, judge says, as he shuts down Diddy's defense. So defense's own language is coming back to haunt Diddy's team, as the judge noted that the attorneys conceded to the jury that there was violence in the case. His attorneys said in their opening and closing arguments that Diddy was guilty of DV, but that his offenses did not meet the bar of racketeering or STing. The judge reminded attorney Agnifilo of that, pushing back that defense has not adequately proved that Diddy is not a danger to the public. DV is violence, Subremian told Agnifilo. He remembers things like a freaking elephant. Memory like an elephant, right? Self-respecting businessman. Diddy deserves a break, the lawyer said. Wow. So attorneys for him called him a self-respecting businessman who has earned the court's trust. Agnifilo said that his client has met all court's order and should be allowed to post bail while he awaits sentencing. He has shown a drive to meet the case head on, honorably, like a self-respecting businessman like he is, Agnifilo said. Only exceptional things about Diddy are his wealth and brazenness, prosecution said. So prosecution is pushing back against the defense arguments to release Diddy, telling the court that the only things exceptional about his circumstances are his wealth and brazenness. She told the judge that Diddy has a dangerous temper and that he also has shown no remorse or regret. He really hasn't. She said his brazenness was unmatched as he continued to violate the law despite being under investigation. There was no reason to consider denying Diddy's bail, prosecution told the judge. And they got a strong point there. So, judge affirms ruling, no bail for Diddy. Okay, so the application for bail is denied for the reasons I said. And that's what he ruled. Okay, court is adjourned. Parties will meet next week. So the court is clearing out with a sentencing date for October 3rd, though that might change as an expedited sentencing proceeding is being considered. So judge asked both parties to meet with him for a remote conference Tuesday to discuss a proposal to move up the sentencing date. So it could literally move up to a whole nother day, just so y'all know. Okay, hold on.
Chance that he deserved bail, and the judge agreed.
And that's what she was fighting for, and that's what she was pushing for.
Right.
And also, this is Maureen Comey, who was the lead prosecutor and a very highly respected person, a very hardworking. Clearly, her team put a lot of time and effort into it. But I think for a lot of the jurors, it was just hard to put in criminal context things when, after the alleged crime happened, the victims were back in contact with Combs, or they agreed at the time the alleged crimes happened, and then changed their tune after that. But she kept drilling down on this incident that happened in September of 2024 after he knew he was he knew he was under federal investigation, and yet still went ahead and beat Jane. So they were basically saying that was, that showed that he had no regard for the law, or that was even afraid or even concerned about, hey, they're watching me, I better.
That's right. Or that he could be trusted in any way.
Exactly.
Agnifilo,
and then we'll send it back to
Oh, okay, just real quickly. He was saying, as part of his argument, he's a model prisoner, he's been spotless, he's a remarkable prisoner, he's lived up to his obligations, and, quote, I think we should trust him. He is not going to flee. Well, the judge obviously did not.
Okay, well, they didn't agree. They didn't agree with that. And then let's just show, Christian, can we show a little bit here? Linda, step aside if you don't mind for a second here. Okay, so what you're looking at right here, do you see the black? You see these black vehicles, the big Suburban, and then there's two black Mercedes Sprinters that are are right behind it that have been carrying the family members. You see all the media, and I want to tell you that the media has been here from all over the world, converging on this to try and to just try and report this amazing story. I mean, it's really a mind-blowing story. One of the most famous men in the world, having the more sordid details of his personal life. Here's one of the Diddy supporters here coming in, one of the people that has been there with the mother. she's getting into the SUV here, and obviously not having the result that they want. And of course, the crowd is here. And they're getting them in. There was NYPD, as you can see. Christian, can we pan over here to this side? You guys see the flashing? You can see the flashing gates there with those roll down metal gates. That's where the judges and certain VIPs and I think certain detainees too go in and out. That's a very secure area. You see the NYPD is here in full force. Now, since the beginning of this trial, there have been people, this individual over here yelling and screaming. There have been people screaming and yelling pretty much all day, every day, every hour since we've been out here. Different people, not just that's the first time I've seen this gentleman. But you see the NYPD is here. They set up the barricades. They came out here this afternoon, and they basically were getting people they were getting people organized, putting up the barricades. They're keeping people back so that there's no
Don't worry, I'm going to keep this on. I want to get some of these super chats here really quick before, they go away. So, Star Fury, thank you so much. Locked up, ain't getting out. Yep, he is not. Well, he is going to get out eventually, but he's not going to get out now. You know what I mean? And again, he could look at some serious time. He could look at several years or just a couple years. Looks like it might be very light what he gets, but he's going to get it. He will get locked up. He will get locked up. And of course, they're trying to expedite this this sentencing as soon and as quickly as possible. So that's true. Maymag, thank you so much for the love. Counsel the Cowboys for Angels tonight. Oh, I was really wanting to call in that the Spanish guy, the buff Spanish guy. See, I was really hoping for that, but damn, that's unfortunate. I was really hoping for that Spanish guy, sniffing his poppers. But anyway, Deny, thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. I heard a rumor that the judge is going to overturn the verdict. That's why he didn't get bail. P.S. Thank you for your hard work. I ain't never appreciate that. Thank you so much for the super chat. Before I do my guttural reaction, I ain't never heard anything like that. I'm going to overturn the verdict. Nope. It doesn't suffice. He needs to walk free. I doubt it. I doubt it. I don't see why the judge would overturn something like that, right? That would be strange. And that's the other thing too. Can a judge even remotely do something like that? That just seems a little bit weird. But anyway, if he can, that'd be interesting. But I don't see it happening ever. Okay. Rianne, thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. Really bugs me badly when people dang right come with the dirty lies. You have a venti drink. You have a venti drink on me. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Love you too. I appreciate it. Thank you. Don't worry. I won't tell the wife. Don't worry. I got you. Thank you so much. Joanne, thank you so much. I appreciate it. In the words of Diddy, you're doing a great job, Judge. The judge says, hold my beer. Watch this. He said, magic. Bail denied. You know what I mean? Mexico. That's Mexico. I don't know. Magic. You know what I mean? Take a look. Bail denied. You know what I'm saying? Abracadabra. You know what I mean? Hold my beer. Watch this. That's insane. He's like, you know what? I feel inspired. Y'all right. He's got this intoxicating positivity that is just unpalpable. It is insane. You're right. I've been doing a good job. Watch this. Bail denied. You like that, right? Come on. You respect that, right? So you're going to give me a job, though? No? Okay. Moving on. Ivy, thank you so much for the love. What is sad is that there is a group of society that is happy that he's getting a lesser sentence. You didn't see that with the Epstein and the Whinies. Yes, that is true. Hold on. because, everybody and Mama's waiting for this press conference. And I want to see this, though. They haven't come out yet, but there is something I do want to share with y'all that is just insane. It is people celebrating in the streets as if they realize that there's a second coming of Christ or something. I don't know. It's so crazy over this verdict. It's insane. And like I said, I'm like, where were you 8 weeks ago? But you got to take a look at this. This is crazy. Okay. And everybody who's been sending me these things, I really do appreciate it. But we got to look at this before this press conference. Hold on. This is just insane. I don't know if there's any music in this. Okay. But this is just dumb.
I don't know what she's going to do, y'all.
That's real. Yeah, that was on my Wiggins, like, slathering in baby oil. Yes, indeed. He was there too. But yeah, people are out here like, yeah, you know what I mean? Baby oil. You know what I mean? It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. When are they coming out? Okay, that's Mark. That's Mark Garagos right there coming out.
Over here. Hold it over here. Hold it over here. Come on. Tell us how about Sean's skills.
I can tell you that I talked to Sean. For those of you who know, I've known him for almost 20 years. And he's thankful, he's relieved, and he thanks the jurors. I think the jurors did what jurors do, which is they saw through an overcharged, overzealous, kind of a crazy prosecution, and they did the right thing. And that's why, when people talk about tyranny and fascism and everything else, as long as you've got a jury system that works, that's what separates us from the rest of the world. And Sean is thankful. As a helicopter parent, I couldn't be prouder, and I'll let them talk. I don't want to steal their thunder.
Were you surprised, though, that he was denied bail? That doesn't really, the bail, I think, is besides the point. He was acquitted of the trafficking. He was acquitted of the RICO. Those were always, I thought, as an observer, a ridiculous use of taxpayer resources. This case was never what it was made out to be. This case was ridiculous in so many different ways, and I'm just thankful that the jury saw through it. But he's still facing prison time. There.
Sean is, the interesting thing about prison is it's a timeout, and he's had a lot of time to reflect, and he's in a good place mentally, and I'm proud of him. And by the way, for those of you who may miss it, the defense didn't put on a single witness. The defense tried their case within the prosecution case. And at the end of the day,
It's a colossal failure by the prosecution.
Wow. That's a very strong statement. Because here at the end of the day, he was still, I'm going to mute this real quick. He was still found guilty, y'all, on 2 counts. So it doesn't matter. Prosecution did some decent job, enough to get him convicted on 2 charges. Yes, it's the 2 lesser charges, but that's quite a thing to say that the prosecution's not dropped the ball. Yeah, it wasn't super solid. It was not. I agree with that. I do. I absolutely agree with that. 110%. But there's the other part that's like, well, he still got convicted, y'all. He's still going to have to spend time in jail. You know what I mean? They didn't bring anybody because I don't think anybody was willing to step forward for his side. That's what I truly think. Touched by Brit. He thought he ate. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's like, yeah, that part. That part. No. He's 2/5 right. You know what I mean? 2 counts out of 5. Still 2 counts out of 5. You know what I mean? So again, we'll see. We will see what happens here. He thought he ate. I'm done. Yeah, he really did. But that's him. You know what I mean? That's his job. And also, given the fact that this is somebody he's known for decades. Remember, decades. So I'm not surprised if he was, you know what I mean? That he would sit there and go, yeah, that ain't nothing. He gonna be out in a couple years. That ain't nothing, right? And it is true. It ain't nothing in comparison to what he was really facing, right? Is there more coming out? One second, guys. I'm sorry. I'm just grabbing. I'm trying to see if there's any more other lives going on that maybe are doing a little bit of commentary. You know what I mean? We hear a little bit more. That kind of thing. That would be kind of dope. Let me see. I mean, everyone's pretty much on this, so I'm just going to let it rock. I'm just going to let it rock. Let it rock. I will say this. If the jury does end up speaking, somebody will come out tonight. Seriously, wait for it. Tonight or first thing tomorrow morning. That's my prediction. Tonight or first thing tomorrow morning, somebody's going to be coming out and saying, oh, yeah, I was a juror and I saw all the things. And this is the reason why we decided these counts. And this is the reason why we didn't think these counts. And what really happened, why there was such a stalemate in the very beginning for count number 1 is this, that, and the third. That's what I truly think. They're going to be saying some things. No doubt. They're going to be saying some things. In fact, you know what? For a fact, somebody's going to want to get out here. And sorry, false alarm. I thought it was. Dang, hold on. Ah.
When we talk about momentous legal moments on October 3rd, it doesn't really get much bigger than O.J. Simpson and Diddy.
Well, and I just saw Kelly raising her hand over there. You clearly have something to say, Kelly.
No, I was saying I know exactly the significance of that date as well. You know, I think the last time we talked about a trial of this magnitude was the O.J. Simpson trial, which was 30 years ago. You know, when we got that verdict, so that's significant. I will also throw this out there, Justin Tinsley, for you. 30 years ago this summer was the 1995 Source Awards, where you know his presence obviously played a big role, and that's where we first saw the height of the East Coast West Coast hip hop kind of feud escalate. And we've been spending so much time this summer talking about what happened 30 years ago, and now here we are 30 years later. I could not have imagined that we would be talking about not only Sean Combs in the way we've been talking about him, but also Suge Knight in the way we've been talking about him as well.
Kelly, Justin, Brian, Bernardo, thank you all for being here with us and for covering this trial from the very beginning. Coming up, YouTube personality Tisa tells on the moment the verdict was announced and how her hundreds of thousands of followers are reacting.
Look at this. This girl blowing up. This girl blowing up, yo. Dang. She is everywhere. She everywhere. She ain't even everywhere. She everywhere. Damn. She is everywhere. Who's her publicist? Damn. No, but hey, yo. I love seeing that. I absolutely love seeing that. You know what I mean? I love seeing that. I love seeing people, you know what I mean? They start here, they're doing their thing, and then something, boom, all of a sudden they just skyrocket. You know what I'm saying? She everywhere, y'all. She everywhere. I love seeing it. I love seeing it. She's been doing a really great job. Okay? Really. So I love seeing that. Let's keep transcending, y'all. Let's keep transcending. And it also gives a little bit of insight on for us other YouTubers. You know what I mean? Like there is a chance, you know, that there is a chance. We got the press conference right now. Let's go straight into it. Let's go. Come on. Here we are. Press conference is happening.
It's not a party till we're all here.
Said Diddy.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you all for being patient. Am I speaking loud enough? You all can hear me okay? All right. Today's a great victory. It's a great victory for Sean Combs. It's a great victory for the jury system. You saw that the Southern District of New York prosecutors came at him with all that they had. They're not stopping, but one thing stands between all of us and a prison, and that is a jury of 12 citizens. And we had a wonderful jury. They listened to every word, and they got the situation right, or certainly right enough. They acquitted him of the sex trafficking, which he was absolutely innocent of. They acquitted him of the racketeering conspiracy that he was absolutely innocent of, and all of the components to it. The kidnapping, he was innocent of that. The arson, he was innocent of that. The obstructing justice, he was innocent of that. And that is no longer just me saying that. That is the verdict of our jury. So today's a great day. Today is a win. Today is a victory of all victories for Sean Combs and our legal team. And I want to say one thing. There are very few people around whom a legal team could coalesce and become one. And Sean Combs is that person, and we are all blessed to be part of it. And I am now done speaking to you, and I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Garagos.
All right. I first want to thank my client, Sean Combs, for trusting us myself and everybody here, this incredible dream team that he put together. Without him, we would not have been able to do this. He is incredible, and I want to thank him. I want to thank the jury for putting such great care into this case. They came early every single day, and I want to thank them, as I said in my opening, standing between all of us and the drastic consequences of the criminal convictions of sex trafficking. And RICO is a jury of our peers, and I thank them. I want to thank the judge, and I want to thank, despite the terrible conditions at the MDC, I want to thank the good people who worked there, who ensured that we had sufficient amount of time to prepare for trial. It is extremely difficult to prepare for a federal case in the conditions at the MDC, and they did everything they could to make that happen. I want to thank them. I also have been saying this since the beginning of this case. Sean Combs has not sexually assaulted anybody. I've been saying this for months. We've said it with each lawsuit that came out, and today that was proven true. The media got it wrong about Sean Combs every single day for nearly 2 years. I ask that for every time you guys see a civil lawsuit, criminal complaints or criminal indictments, you actually take a look and analyze these and see whether or not these are actually going to stand up in a court of law, because today they did not. He has not sexually assaulted anybody, certainly hasn't sex trafficked anybody, and the jury found that today. Thank you. I am now going to pass this over to Mr. Steele.
Good evening. Good evening. I want to thank the ladies and gentlemen to my right and my left. There's not a better group of honest and ethical, hardworking, and zealous lawyers, and I especially wish to thank Mark and Tenny for allowing me and everyone else to come together. On behalf of my family, myself, I wish to thank you all for being here and writing truthfully about a man wrongly charged with most of the crimes, and that we all must remember that allegations are nothing. And I'd like to thank Sean for letting me be here. Thank you all. God bless you.
What did your client want to say when he raised his hand?
Thankfully, in our country, we have a right to a jury trial. And thankfully, Mr. Combs took that right. He actually battled for his freedom, for his innocence. He did it. And a lot of times, people are too afraid to do it. And he did it, and we're so happy that he did. We're proud of him. We are completely honored that he put his faith and his trust in us to fight for him. Today is a major win to show what the system can do. We appreciate and we're so thankful to the jury. Thank you to the court. Thank you, New York. It's been a pleasure being here and fighting in your district. Thank you so much. And listen, we appreciate the media. We do. There was a lot of reporting on the accusations. There was a lot of reporting on the indictment. Please report just as vigorously on the acquittal of these counts, please, because that's also the right thing to do. Thank you.
That's fair. She's got a point there. That's fair. That's absolutely fair.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Brian Steele.
First of all, I want to thank this wonderful team behind me. I am so happy that they allowed me to join it. I would like to say that I've done a lot of trials, but this is probably the most special one to me. And most importantly, I want everyone to know the job is not done yet. We're not finished. The job is not done yet. And so I want to, again, thank Mark, Tenny, and the rest of these wonderful lawyers behind us. They did a fantastic job. And like those before me have said, our system, the jury system, is important. We need good people to serve on juries. We need good people to come and say a person is not guilty. Take that courage to do that. It's okay. We want you to serve on juries. This particular jury was a special jury. It was fantastic. It listened, it paid attention, it put the nonsense to the side, it put the distraction to the side, and came to a lawfully good, just conclusion. Juries are important. Juries are important. But more important than that, I think, is people wanting to be on juries. So for all of you all listening, for all you out there in the public, please accept the call, become a juror, and do the right thing. Thank you very much.
You sure?
Yeah.
It is such a privilege to be a part of this legal team, this amazing legal team, and to represent Sean Combs. And this is a reminder to everyone, I hope, about the flaws in the criminal justice system, and for everyone to take a second look when the government charges people with crimes, and especially when the Southern District of New York does here. And so I hope everyone takes that seriously. And we take this as an enormous victory and win. This is a huge win. He was acquitted of sex trafficking, acquitted of RICO conspiracy, and he will be able to sleep well at night knowing that. Okay, thank you to everyone. I appreciate you.
For a few years.
Jason.
Guys, can any of you share what you
Awesome. Get up there.
Well, I want to start just by thanking my family and the families of each of the lawyers here for giving us the space and the time to serve Sean and to fight for Sean. I want to thank the court for giving us a fair fight. And you see what happens when you have a good defense team come together in front of a court that gives the defense team a fair fight. And finally, I just want to thank Sean for giving me the honor and the privilege of serving him. Thank you.
That's what that's what Sly said after a freak off. Just saying.
I feel like there's not a lot more that I can say because of these wonderful people have really said all there is to say, but I do want to thank Sean for the privilege of this opportunity to help him clear his name after all, with the Southern District coming after him, guns blazing. It really is a testament to the fact that when you get a fair trial and a jury of your peers listens to the evidence, they will do the right thing. And I just want to say again how proud I am to be part of this team and to have helped Sean get a just verdict.
Are you going to appeal a minute? Guys, can anyone share what Mr. Combs wanted to say in court when he raised his hand during the bail hearing?
More baby oil?
No.
Can you talk about the bail decision and the judge using defense's own
So
words during trial about violence?
I'm not going to talk about the bail decision because it's still a pending unresolved matter. And I don't think we're going to take any more questions. I want to thank you all. You guys have been so diligent and dedicated. I pass you guys in the rain. I walk by you in the sun, and you're all out here every day. I just want to thank you. But I don't think we're going to take any questions.
Can you take us through the ups and downs of the day, though? Because Mr. Combs got acquittals on the major charges. Maybe thought he could go home tonight, and then was told he couldn't.
So a lot of these things are still in process. I mean, the one thing I'm going to leave you with this: we are not nearly done fighting. We are just getting started. To win this and to defeat the prosecutors from the Southern District of New York takes effort from beginning to end. Today was a major step in the right direction, but we fight on and we're going to win, and we're not going to stop until he walks out of prison a free man to his family. Thank you all for coming.
In a couple of years. Now, here's the thing. They dodged a massive bullet. They did. Okay? They most definitely dodged a massive bullet, which was the RICO. They were going to be, if he was found guilty of RICO, this would have been a very interesting turnout. Okay? But nonetheless, the fact that the fact that they dodged the RICO is a very big win, but they didn't win entirely. This win is bittersweet. Let's just be real. It is, because at the end of the day, you have somebody who is still locked up. Yeah, he He's found not guilty on those big charges, but he still has to pay and do his time, serve time for things that he was found guilty on. Yeah, they're not huge. They're not huge counts. They're not huge charges. But if the judge decides, the judge could literally have him locked up for 20 plus years or for 20 years maximum. That's a lot. Okay. For two little ditties. Okay. Literally and figuratively speaking. So again, they could be triumphant for sure. Makes sense. But now they still have a lot of fighting to do. Yeah. Mark Agnifilo was not wrong. This is not done yet with them. They're going to file appeal after appeal after appeal after appeal, and they're going to try as much as they can. Okay. They're going to try them as much as they can to get him out on bail, to get him out like throughout from now until October. They're still going to try to get him out on bail. Watch. There's going to be multiple appeals, and people will talk about it. People will talk about it, you know. But for the most part, we'll be waiting for October 3rd if that actually does happen, right? Joanne, thank you so much for the super chat. I really do appreciate it. You'd think they'd save Jesus before crucifixion. No kidding. But they're just grateful because they each got paid. Ay. Well, yeah, they definitely been getting paid. Okay. Like, they definitely getting paid for sure. Okay. So yeah, some people don't listen in the chat clearly, but it is what it is. Okay. You're not listening. Selective hearing, selective outrage. It does happen. Let's just say that. But nonetheless, he has been found guilty on 2 charges. 3 of them he's been found not guilty on. They were the big ones. He got very lucky. Okay. But also at the same time, I got to be real. Prosecution didn't do that great of a job in presenting the RICO. I even said that. I was like, I don't know about the RICO, man. There are some counts in there, but they have to show proof positive that he is guilty of those things. The taking of somebody, taking somebody against their will, the arson. To me, I was like, I don't know if that's enough, right? And if he's found guilty on the STing, then he would definitely be, going underneath 1 count of RICO, right? But there was a couple other ones underneath that they had. It seemed like there was a lot of push and pull about. So again, interesting, right? Very, very interesting. I'm interested as well to see where this turns out. Obviously, they have a private remote hearing next Tuesday. They're going to talk about it. Bail has been denied for the 15 millionth time. Okay. But here's the thing. They're going to keep asking for it. They're going to keep filing for it. They're going to keep asking for it. And I'm sure he's going to get denied time and time again until there's another judge maybe that presides over the decisions. That's a possibility. But nonetheless, he done. Diddy is found not guilty. Now, on those 3 charges, he still has to go to prison, and that prison time could be very short or it could be nothing at all. You never know. Depends on how this judge feels. And we'll find out about that here very, very soon. But I also will say this too. He's not out of the clear. Like, let's just say he goes and he gets hey, you did time served so you can walk. You'll just be under probation. Let's just say that's a possibility. That is a very big possibility. Let's just say he does that. No matter what, he is still going to get hit with a treasure trove of lawsuits. He still has so many civil lawsuits that he has to do. Mark Garagos and his team, okay, or not Mark Garagos, I'm sorry, Mark Agnifilo and his team aren't going to be sleeping for a while. They're going to be very busy doing as much as they can defending Diddy, right? And maybe trying to get as many of these cases, of these lawsuits, not seeing the inside of a courtroom as well, to try to get those dismissed before they even get in a civil courtroom or a civil trial. Because let's be real, there are people that lie. There are people that make things up in hopes that they're going to make some money off of this situation that Diddy is going through right now. So they might be able to go through a good portion of those people and find out who's telling the truth and who's not. But still, no matter what, that still requires time. That still requires resources, meaning money that Diddy has to pull out of his butt to pay his team to represent him for those lawsuits. And they're still coming. During this trial, there were 2 new lawsuits that dropped. While we were, like last week, we reported it too. So again, and then there's going to be more lawsuits. I guarantee you that, because he just got found guilty of transportation and to engage in pro. He's already been found guilty of that. You don't think people are going to use that as kryptonite, as an opportunity to call up a Tony Busby or anybody else to say, hey, he made me perform with all these pros. Still possible. Or the people who never were called in that are actually victims of Diddy might step forward and start suing him right now too. Then somebody else said this earlier. The IRS could be looking at him too because of how he moves his money. They talked about it at great length in this trial. Now you got the IRS probably staring him down as well. He doesn't want that. He shouldn't want that, right? So again, more and more issues are coming for him. This is not done yet. And yeah, he was found not guilty on those big charges. Absolutely. Big. He's not going to be locked up for good. Good on his team. Okay? It's good news for him. But he is still going to have to pay a little bit of time in prison, because I don't see this judge going up to him and just saying, nah, you're good. You've already spent over a year. Just go home. You're on probation, though. Okay? You got a year probation. Okay? We'll see you. I doubt he's going to do that. So he'll still have to spend a little bit of time behind bars. But he'll have, I'm sure he'll do what's the word? Over, spending good behavior, right? Maybe he'll be able to get out a little bit earlier than expected. But nonetheless, he's still going to be locked up for a little bit. Even if it is for just a tiny bit, it's still a tiny bit. So again, we got that. But then you got the lawsuits that are coming for him. And then the question is, what does this mean for all the other people, all the other celebrities that are starting to get hit? Okay? Real talk. Y'all ain't listening. Uptown, you ain't listening. Okay? No, I don't want him in there for life. Hell no. Let him be in prison for whatever time the judge decides to give him. That time spent, he'll come back. He was found not guilty on those big things. It is what it is, right? So, again, like I said before, the question remains, what could this mean for other celebrities that are getting hit right now? Like the Tyler Perrys, okay? Like the Tyler Perrys, the Fat Joes, the Shannon Sharps, shoot, even the Jay-Z's. What about all these guys? What could this all mean for the future of celebrities? Oh, and I forgot Smokey Robinson. Yeah, and Smokey Robinson, right? What about all those people? Because I truly believe that with Tyler Perry, it's not done yet. I think that there's going to be a Men Too movement that's going to happen. I think we're going to see a lot more men stepping forward and exposing these male celebrities. That's what I truly think. I think we're going to see that. That's just a random thought, but I think we're going to start seeing more men stepping forward and saying, yeah, such and such guy was doing such and such, and he offered me $1 million just so I could get down to my skivvies, right? I'm just saying. We'll see. Yeah, I'm kind of curious about that. And I do think with Tyler Perry, it's not done yet. I think there's going to be more lawsuits coming out for Tyler Perry here too, as well. I really do. I don't want to say that. I really don't. But at the same time, you know, it might be coming. Janet, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Are they going to pass the mic to the spell worker too? That's funny. You know what? That person is a spirit. Okay. That person is a spirit for sure. Okay. Let's be real. All that baby oil. All right. Too much baby oil. That's crazy. That's just crazy. Okay. Oh, the YouTube psychics were wrong. They said that they were going to have Diddy was going to go away for life. Yeah, I didn't see life. I saw like, okay, worst case scenario. Yeah, but no, I didn't think they had Rico, man. I really didn't think that they had Rico. I thought they had the STing, at least one on Cassie, but I was wrong on that one. But the pros, absolutely. I knew that was coming. But yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Some psychics were saying that he was going to do something bad to himself in prison. That's insane. Well, that didn't happen. Now, did it? Right? I think everybody was like, yo, he's on watch, right? We even reported that, right? That they said he was on watch. And it's like, no, he's alive. He got through it. He's there. You know what I mean?
The one thing I'm going to leave you with this. We are not nearly done fighting. We are just getting started. To win this and to defeat the prosecutors from the Southern District of New York takes effort from beginning to end.
Oh, dear Lord. Baby oil. Everyone's celebrating with baby oil. Christ. All right. So, yeah, y'all. I mean, this was a very interesting roller coaster ride. Let me tell you. Okay. And, you know, this is why I love these kind of trials. Like we did the Amber Heard, Johnny Depp trial. We did this trial. We've done many other like trial watch parties in the past. Right. And that's just one thing, you know, I get to know you guys more. We do these crazy marathons of these kinds of trials. And I'm telling you right now, it gets an opportunity to like meet you guys, hang out with you guys, for you guys to get to know me more. I get to know you guys more. And it's always a challenge, right? To find out if I can entertain you guys for freaking 6-7 hours sometimes 8. You know what I mean? It's a lot, right? But one thing is for sure, this one was a bigger challenge because all we were doing is just reading updates. It's not like we have a screen, you know, watching the TV. We're sitting back, eating our food, and we're just throwing in some commentary, you know, left and right every few minutes. No, we're sitting here waiting for updates from a Twitter account, which I do want to give, again, a huge shout out to this dude because this dude deserves his flowers. I'm dead ass, okay? Inner City mother loving press. I'm telling you right now, this dude, beast, okay? Beast, okay? Period. Dude, he did the damn thing. For 10 weeks, we were all stuck, glued, more like it, glued to this man's Twitter account or X account, okay? He did a fantastic job, okay, with him just typing as quickly as he could while doing this. Because imagine us going through 900 or 800 to 900 pages of Cassie's transcript. Ain't nobody got time for that. Okay, that would have been insane. So again, the fact that we had that, and then of course all the other news outlets like New York Times, CNN, and NBC, New York Post, even the Daily Mail, all of them were doing live updates. I said New York Times, Washington Post, okay? All of them had really, really, really great coverage. And we wouldn't have been able to go through this for the last 10 weeks without them doing what they do best. So again, I am so appreciative of all these people doing their thing. And then also I want to say, shout out to all the YouTubers that were out there, yo. Real talk, all of them. At least the ones that I was watching. And I know that there was other ones out there. Some of them were out there just to cause drama and cause just BS. And, I pushed them over to the side. Hey, there's a lane for it. People like watching that. If they like watching that kind of stuff, that's on you. But at the same time, the people that were there just to give you guys the information, they're fighting tooth and nail every single day just to get to that courtroom, just to be in that courtroom, just to be in that seat, to get the firsthand account on everything. I mean, shoot, I wish I was able to do it. I wish I was there. Real talk, I really did. But unfortunately, it just wasn't in the cards for this particular trial. You know what I mean? But a lot of people did a really great job. Everyone from Tisa Tells to Armand Wiggins to Make It Make Sense to, those are the three I was really watching. But there has been a lot of people that have been doing a really great job covering things. I know that BJ from That Surprise Witness went out there for the last few days as well, which is really dope as well. She packed up and she flew out there just to be a part of the just to see what was going to happen with the verdict. I think that's hella dope. You know what I mean? So again, it's really incredible to see how media crossed over. And if you see with Tisa Tells, she's starting to cross over. If you noticed, she's starting to cross over, which is amazing. Oh, even Armand Wiggins, he's starting to cross over too, right? He's been on, on News Nation. He's been with Angela Yee. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty dope. Murad Marali. Yes, I forgot he's out there too right now as well. Shout out to him too. He does really great coverage as well. But again, like I said, all of these people went out there and you know what I mean? It's just the mainstream legacy media to the YouTubers. They're all starting to just kind of mold into one, which is really dope. I love seeing that. You know what I mean? So again, I think it's pretty amazing. Just seeing everybody do what they do best, and they've all done a really, really great job. At least the ones that I was watching. I know that there's others out there. I just didn't see who they were. Okay. But like I said, everybody's been doing a fantastic job with the coverage and just talking about everything that's going on. Even the ones that were doing it from their homes, that were just sitting here reading through all the stuff and putting in their commentary. There's a lot of people that were doing it aside from me. A lot of people were doing it and doing great coverage on it too. So like I said, it was just really dope. I'm really looking forward to the next trial. Not Diddy trial, but I'm saying the next trial, the next big high profile trial. I am really looking forward to it. This one I had a good time doing. Like, but at the same time, it's not every single year you have that one big mainstream, knockout trial that everyone's glued to, Usually it'll be 3 cases or 3 trials that are happening at the same time. And you're like, I don't know which one to look at because they're all going on at the same time, which really, really sucks. You know what I mean? But I am looking forward to doing more of these in the near future. What they will be, I have no idea. Brian Koberger's done. Him done, y'all. It's a wrap for that little bee. That little peasant. Ugh. Hate that mother lover. Ugh. So I'm really happy that he's gonna be gone. Okay. And the only times we'll ever hear about Brian Koberger ever again is when they go, it's the 20th year of the, you know what I mean? 20th anniversary of the Idaho 4 murders, where 4 University of Idaho students lost their lives in a gruesome, horrific night in November 13th, 2022. Brian Koberger still sits in solitary at the, you know what I mean? We already know they're going to do that. They're already going to do that. But that's the only time we're going to hear about that mother lover. Okay? So now I'm going, okay, what's the next big case? What's the next big conversation? Okay? Because, right now, Tyler Perry, I think he's going to settle. I really think he's going to settle. He's going to keep it on the hush, and he's going to settle. Shannon Sharp, we haven't heard much about Shannon Sharp. Okay, Club Shay Shay, right? We haven't heard anything much from that particular person, that Jane Doe. Okay, black pleather straps. You know what I'm saying? So we haven't heard anything about that. I think that got taken care of because I feel like that would have been percolating, right? But then you got the Fat Joe situation, which is interesting. We're going to be looking into it for sure. Now, pig vomit, Stephen Stearns, yes, we're looking into it. That's supposed to be happening. I keep asking every time, diggity damn, when does it happen? Somebody knows. When is his trial? It's coming up soon, right? Yeah, Shannon Sharp is still doing interviews, y'all. Okay? Shannon Sharp is still doing interviews. His show hasn't stopped. He's continuing on. Either he settled this stuff or something. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. And then Nikki Nash, yes, I would have loved. I wish I went to New York too, baby. Trust, I wish I was there too. I would have been there in a heartbeat. I would have. Real talk. Next time, there's going to be another big high-profile case. Let's not forget. Oh, and Liz Fields, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I had a good time doing this for you guys. Real talk. Was I coerced, though? It's okay. No, I wasn't coerced. It's okay. It's okay. No one put a pill in my mouth and said, "It's that D." No one said that. So we're okay. We're okay. We're okay. But I'm wondering what the next big case is going to be, right? You got pig vomit, Stephen Stearns, pig vomit. I don't know about pig vomit. I don't know when I don't remember when it's supposed to be happening, but I think it's supposed to be happening this summer, or I think it's supposed to be happening this July. Maybe. I don't remember. Like I said, brain is fried. July 22nd. Okay. Thank you, Fuzza. Thank you. July 22nd. Okay. Well, then I'm going to be looking into that one for sure, because that piece of trash, pig vomit, is going down. It's clear he's going down. Those are the kind of cases that I want to hit the fast forward button and get to the inevitable, because you already know that the case is going to be paint by numbers, and you already know how the ending is going to be. You know those movies. See, I'm that person, though. I'm that person that predicts the end of the movie before the movie even ends. I'd be like, yeah, he did it. He's that's his actual sister. Yeah, no, that actually is the love child of the main character, and he's here trying to connect with the dad, but he doesn't know that he's the love child. He didn't know, kind of thing. And yeah, he's about to die, and she about to get pregnant, and yeah, he's the killer. Like, literally, I'm that person. And 9 times out of 10, I'm right. Because some movies, you've seen one, you've seen them all, right? And there's some you're like, damn, I didn't know that. Wow, that threw me off. You know what I mean? But again, with that particular trial, I feel like it's going to literally be a paint by numbers type of situation. They're going to sit there. His team is going to passionately try to object on certain things that don't even apply to anything. And he's going to be found guilty on all counts because he's guilty. Just some trials you just know, right? But we'll see. Calm over chaos. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Yes, it's actually S Dubs. I appreciate you saying that, but it's Lil Ray Ray. It's not Lil Rod, but it's Lil Ray Ray. Think about Lil Ray Ray and hit that like button. Okay, that's all we ask. You're okay. Mystery. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay. Yes, there'll be more trials, more stuff going on, but this time it'll be different. Hopefully they'll be on camera and we're not reading from a Twitter account or an X account. You know what I'm saying? So again, we'll be looking into things. I mean, again, tomorrow we'll be back on live again. We'll be talking about a bunch of things. I'm sure we're going to be having a discussion about the Diddy trial, of course. Obviously everyone's going to be, let's just say, shell-shocked. There's a lot of people that are going to be shell-shocked about this verdict or about these verdicts, right? And the fact that he's been denied bail. There's going to be people who are going to be still kind of reeling from that. You know what I mean? Almost like hungover. It's like waking up from a hangover, especially when all the chaos is over, right? So, we'll be talking about it in the morning, the usual time that we've been on, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. We'll be right here to talk about that and talk about a gang load of other things that we need to talk about, right? Because there's a bunch of things that we need to talk about that are going on in the world that we really haven't gotten a chance to really dive in and talk about. So make sure you're back here, because again, just because the whole show isn't about Diddy doesn't mean that you don't need your information, your news, and your entertainment for the day. So make sure you are tuned in tomorrow and in perpetuity, okay, for this show. Real talk, because you never know what's going to happen overnight, leading into the next morning. You just never know. Skelly or S. Kelly or Skelly, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you, Pascal, for doing a great job. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. I've been watching your cover of this trial from 3 different countries. Wow. So Ireland, Dublin, Limerick, and Kerry. Wow. Wow. Holy cow. Holy cow. Holy cow. Thank you. Wow. That's dope. That's dope. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. Appreciate you. Helen said, you're a legend, Pascal. I know. I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. Thank you. That means a lot. That means a lot. Thank you. Seriously. I love what I do. It's fun. It can suck though, too. Okay? It can suck big donkey balls. It really can. But I really do love it. I really do love it. There are days that are just tough. Okay? But I appreciate it. Okay? Yeah, I appreciate you. Real quick, though, before we go, let me just check a few more things before we like wrap it up, hit the orchestral music. Okay. We've been going ham all day today, and it don't stop. Okay. It definitely don't stop. But I do want to check just a few things just before we go. Okay. Potent, thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. Potent, pondering, strong, and thoughtful. Get it? Moving on. Can Diddy appeal the bail hearing like before? I believe he can. But don't quote me on that. I think that he can still appeal. And I think they're going to be appealing the bail, and they're going to appeal the actual 2 guilty counts of prostitution. Okay? That's what I think. Yeah. So in other words, yeah. It's going to be can't stop, won't stop for sure. For his legal team. And don't worry, they're going to be raking in dough. They're going to be raking into dough. I think it's crazy that the money is staying in the family with the Garagos family. Seriously. I think it's interesting. Mark Garagos, and then he passed this case over to his daughter, right? And his daughter, it was one of the lead attorneys or one of the main attorneys for this trial. And of course, she was up there talking and everything. You saw her. She looked exactly like her papa. Okay. So again, they ain't going to stop. It's going to be can't stop, won't stop for show for them. They're going to appeal the verdicts because they want him out. They're going to want to try to see if they can appeal that. And then they're going to appeal the bail. And they're going to keep doing that until he's actually out or until they have exhausted that option. Until the courts say, stop. Don't give me any more. We've already said no 7 times now. So stop sending more appeal motions for appeal. Nikki, thank you so much for I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Nikki. Pascal, thank you for all you do. If you decide to go to the next Diddy hearing, even for one day, let us know so we can help fund you. Oh, thank you. It would be great networking. It would be a great networking opportunity. I mean, I would love that. I mean, shoot, I would love that to get some love out there too, right? Some Tisa Tell love out here. That'd be dope, right? That'd be fun. But at the same time, yes, I will definitely let you know if I'll definitely let you all know if I decide to do something like that. It's okay. Your typos are okay. I appreciate the positivity and I appreciate the support, but I definitely will let you guys know. I've even thought about even saying because there's some people that are interested in sitting down, like to fly in. I've thought about even doing that. Like, hey, let me put a GoFundMe, and I'm like, hey, I want to, fly this guest in to do an in-person conversation. Would you guys help me? That kind of thing. I've thought about that too, because there's been a lot of people that want to meet face to face, get some real exclusives. And that's something I want to do here in the near future. So, maybe I will take you up on that offer very, very soon. Just saying. But yeah, everything right now is just Diddy, 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 Diddy. Diddy, 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 Diddy. And I don't blame him, because this was a huge, huge freaking trial. Lots of ish going down for show. Hold on. Just checking a few more things before we just completely wrap it up. Yeah, it's Diddy and Brian Koberger, right? It's Diddy and Coco. It's Tootsie Roll and Coco. Back to back. Everybody talk about it. Okay? Just be rest assured, if anything is popping off, you can find me here. I'll be back on to chop it up with you guys and let you know what's going down. I will be back on tomorrow morning, okay? 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, like we always do. We got some things we got to talk about. It is Thursday, and then the next day is the 4th of July. So there's things that we got to, go and, talk about and enjoy, and I may do a call-in. I may do a speak on it. I haven't done that in a long time. So I might do that just to hear y'all's thoughts on everything. Just have some conversations and hear your thoughts on this verdict. And in fact, we might do 2 different ones, because I know there's some people that are into both, heavily into the Brian Koberger case and of course in the Diddy case as well. I'd love to hear your thoughts on both of them. I think we'll have a good time. Okay. Nikki, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. And for that long, that's a long time. You know what I mean? Seriously, that means a lot. Okay. Thank you again for all y'all who've been here, being a part of the conversation. Without you guys, I'd be talking to a wall. In fact, actually, I'd be talking to a camera, but there's a wall like right there. So, I mean, again, it just means the world to me that you guys are here spending your time with me. You can be spending it with anybody else. I know I'm crazy. Okay. But I'm just trying to keep it fun, and I'm trying to keep it light, because this court stuff can go into a low drawl. Okay. And get very, very tedious and boring. So I just try to keep it fun, So I appreciate you guys just spending the time with me, laughing with me, disagreeing with me, crying with me sometimes. I appreciate it. Okay. And for those of y'all who are just new to the show, welcome to the family. Welcome to the show. I appreciate you guys. More's coming. More craziness is coming. Have you met me? Have you met me? Anyway, guys, that is the show. I appreciate you guys for being here. It really means a lot. Real talk. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We did it. Man, can I just say this? We did it. 35 days. 35 days of coverage. Do you understand that? 35 days of coverage. That's a lot of time. Do you understand? Do you understand, young ladies and young men? It's a long time. Okay? We learned a lot about each other. All right? We learned a lot about each other, but we did it. We got through it, and we got through it stronger. Even when we had those little, rough spots, you know what I mean? That little turbulence, we still came out strong. Okay? So I appreciate you guys. You guys are fire. And that is the show. Again, thank you guys so much for being here. It really means a lot. 35 days of Diddy. Yes. On the first day of Diddy, my true love gave to me Astroglide. 35, 34, 33, 32, 30. I mean, you know what I mean? Oh, anyway, that is the show. I'm tired. I'm tired. Woo! Anyway, I appreciate you guys. Seriously, thank you so much for tuning in, being a part of the conversation. We'll be talking back again tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Unless something breaks, something big breaking happens, then we might be on a little bit earlier, just so you know. Okay? Just so you know. Please, though, before you leave, hit that like button down below. Where are we at in the likes? Damn right we're at the 1K. Yeah. Okay? Thank you so much. Hit that like button down below, though, still on your way out. Okay? Hit that reaction button if you're watching on other platforms. If you are watching on those other platforms, like Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, Rumble, Kick. I'm on all of them. Make sure you're following, subscribing, etc. to those platforms, please and thank you. Support if you can. We got a lot to talk about. There's so much more going on in the world. I cannot wait to talk about those things with you. So be sure to tune in, okay? Hit that notification bell or hit that subscribe button, on this main channel on YouTube. Go to my second channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Go over there. Subscribe over there. Make sure you hit that notification bell underneath. Set it to all so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload, because honestly, it's random lately. Okay? I'm trying to get to a schedule. I promise you. Looks like we are getting into a scheduled program now. Okay? So make sure you're doing that. Subscribe, hit that notification bell, set it to all. If you want to support even further, hit that join button down below. Become a member. Check out my Patreon. Check out my locals, and of course, check out PascalMerch.com. You can get cool little hoodies like this, just straight up clothing. PascalMerch.com. Okay? Go check it out. All right? I appreciate you guys. Anyway, it is time to get going. Much love to you guys. Have a great rest of your evening. You deserve it. It was 35 days of Diddy, and it is finally over. Much love to you guys. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.